Hey guys, it's Jose here again from Yugaetch, and today we're at Computex and we are here at the ROG booth. So we're going to be checking out the ROG Ally, and there's going to be a lot in store for us, and of course there are other things that we're going to check out. So let's go check out the ROG Ally X. Okay, so the first thing you need to know about this is the color. It's now black. But aside from it being in the color black, which I actually personally really like more, it gives it a stealth color if you think about it. Outside of the color, ROG ASUS also made changes to the D-pad. If you can see the D-pad before, this one is now a lot easier to move around. So that just means if you're playing like Tekken and you don't want to use the analog stick, you can actually just use this instead of going to the D-pad. It feels more natural to switch her up, and makes it a lot easier to play the game. Aside from that, ASUS also made changes to the analog sticks. Stick drift is a very common issue right now, so at least with this one, you don't have to worry about it. They say it's a lot sturdier, and pretty much about it from the front, at least just looking at it. The nice finishes here and here with the ROG logo. I personally like this new design. Let's move on to the bigger changes. One of the biggest complaints people had with the ROG Ally, at least the first time around, was the ports. At least you only had one USB-C port. Now, you have two. ASUS decided to get rid of the proprietary port that's on here, and instead they opted for two USB Type-C ports, which actually makes sense because most of the people I know that own an ROG Ally don't really use the ROG proprietary port. If you're charging, you don't have any other way to plug in your peripherals or whatever. Other than that, this button layout is pretty much the same. Still have the volume rockers right here, but aside from that, you still have the micro SD slot, which I know some of you do have a say in it, but let's not talk about that in this video. For now, you also have the 3.5mm audio jack, the power button, and of course your triggers. So here, that's pretty much the big change. Flipping over, and ASUS made the back triggers a lot smaller compared to the one on the original ROG Ally. And at the same time, they also redesigned the grip and the handle. So it's now a lot easier to hold, a lot more comfortable on my hand. I know I'm holding it with one hand right now, but I can grip it much easier, and see, feels nice to the grip. But because of this new change, there is a disadvantage, and that is the weight. I've tried out the ROG Ally of my friend and also the review unit that we have, and this one is noticeably heavier. So I don't know about you, but I personally don't mind sacrificing, at least adding a bit more weight just to get a bit more, make it more comfortable on my hands. This isn't exactly the most lightweight device either, but at least with the added weight, you do in exchange get a more comfortable grip when you're playing on the go. I mean, if you get tired, you can always just, rest your hands on the table. The other changes that, again, you can't really see here, but ASUS did say there are new fans to make it a lot more efficient when it comes to cooling. You have cooler temps when you're playing, especially when you're playing graphic-intensive titles. If you want to play Warzone here, I mean, it can, but okay. But yeah, I mean, you get what I mean. Now, another big change that ASUS made that you can't really see is found under here. You can now actually add an M.2 slot. There's a dedicated M.2 slot here, so you're not just limited to the micro SD card slot. At least you have fast loading times, and it's also a great solution rather than users having to just depend on the micro SD card slot over here. But again, it's still nice that they still have it. I'll try to set it up and go through the games. Okay, I definitely lost, but I don't know how to play this, so just keep that in mind. On my hand, this definitely feels nicer. To the guys watching this video, I'm sorry, I'm sucking so bad at this game. It's pretty much the same ROG Ally we've come to love. I'm really glad ASUS and ROG listened to what the consumer and the users wanted from the previous ROG Ally. On the outside, the design changes aren't that big, at least from the front, because you still have the same panel, you still have the same everything, the layout, but with the new D-pad, It's gonna be a lot nicer to play Tekken, I'm pretty sure. And again, you have an updated armory crate, command center. You're probably thinking, is it worth buying this one? Well, we don't have the price yet. I think it's gonna be a good deal. You get an M.2 slot, an additional USB-C port, a black color that won't fade. You know, it won't get yellowish over time, and especially I have sweaty hands. But yeah, that's pretty much it. ASUS has not released the price of the ROG Ally X just yet, but hopefully it's not too far off from the original price of the ROG Ally. You can still get it with the same chipset, the same hardware. The hardware is pretty much the same, aside from the addition of an M.2 slot. But overall, I like it, and I'm really glad ASUS listened to their consumers and came out with the ROG Ally X with all the improvements that people have been wanting. But what do you think of the ROG Ally X? Is it something you would cop? Or would you rather get something else? If you do enjoy this video, do drop a like and subscribe to our channel to watch more. Also, don't forget to follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And of course, visit yugatech.com to stay updated with the latest tech news and reviews. Also, stay tuned. We're going to be doing a full review of that. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. And once again, stay tuned. We're going to be dropping more Computex stuff right here in Taiwan.